If you love big name fight cards, UFC 181 is the fight card to go see.
It's always fun to have two title fights on one card. A lot of times you only get one, and so now it's like a treat, and it's a bonus, you get an extra one at the end.
Robbie Lawler challenging Johnny Hendricks and Gilbert Melendez taking on Anthony Pettis. You're getting by far the two best guys at their respective weight classes, and that's got to make all mixed martial arts fans excited for this card.
Johnny Hendricks and Robbie Lawler met in Dallas at UFC 171 in one of the most compelling fights of 2014. And when the bell sounded, nobody was quite sure who won that fight.
It came down to the final 5 minutes, and with a minute left, the four-time All-American, two-time national champion gets the biggest takedown of his life. That may have done it.
Robbie Lawler was, one hair away from the welterweight belt. He thinks to himself, he outpointed me. Credit to him. I deserve the loss, but I know exactly how to beat him this time. And Johnny Hendricks is saying, I beat you with one arm. Imagine what I'm going to do to this guy with two working arms. They're both dead set on, this guy can't beat me. And when you have two guys who are just sure that they're going to win the fight, you probably got a good fight on your hands.
I think we're going to have to see Johnny Hendricks come back better than he was in the first fight, and that's tough. I mean, this guy hurt himself. He's been on a 9-month layoff. Meanwhile, Robbie Lawler's barely taking a break. I mean, beating two more guys. So I think we're going to have to see Johnny Hendricks evolve in order to keep his title.
If I was forced to pick, I'm going to pick Johnny Hendricks to win. And the reason is I just think the wrestling may be a difference. I think they both have the capability of knocking each other out.
I'm never comfortable picking against Robbie Lawler. He wins fights. Robbie Lawler is tough. If he is behind Hendricks in any way, it is a 1A, 1B situation. It's not by much.
Just such an incredible run. I think this is the best story in the UFC over the last several years. I mean, he comes in, looks like he's done in Strikeforce, and now the only guy he's lost to is the champion.
I think either guy has a chance to win, but if I have to pick one thing that's a little different, I think Johnny is going to be able to have a two-handed attack, and I also think that the wrestling, the threat of the takedown is more on the Hendricks side.
I think Hendricks is a true champion. He's been a winner his entire life. When he was young, collegiate, high school, all that, this guy just wins. I don't think you can really teach that. I think he'll find a way to beat Lawler for a second time.
I just think Hendricks has a little bit too many tools. I think his left hand is something you always have to look out for. So I'm going to lean Johnny Hendricks in this fight, but I can't wait to watch it either way.
Co-main event, Anthony Pettis, Gilbert Melendez.
And they are the two best guys in the world, and now we have them under one roof, and they're going to fight on this particular night. I can't wait for that fight because I don't know what's going to happen other than I know something spectacular will happen. The lightweight title fight between Anthony Pettis and Gilbert Melendez is, I think, a fight fan's dream because you have two guys that are athletic, that are quick, that are heavy-handed, that are versatile in their fight games, that are very creative in their fight games.
To me, the big thing here is you get Anthony Pettis back. We know what this guy is capable of, but it's almost like we're still trying to see him realize his full potential. I mean, he's already the champion, but you're still thinking like, oh, this guy still has like this next level that he could get to.
Pettis is definitely the flashy guy that's going to make all the highlight reels, but Gilbert Melendez is just one of the most relentless fighters you'll ever see. I mean, there's not a weakness in this guy's game.
When you fight Gil Melendez, you know that you have to look out for everything. There's nothing that Gil Melendez cannot do.
There's no UFC title fight without any pressure. For Anthony Pettis specifically, does he need to go out and be Showtime Pettis because that's his name and because that's what everybody expects? I don't think so. It's hard enough just to win the UFC belt and defend it. Having said that, I don't think Pettis could fight boring if he tried to. He's going to do whatever it takes to win him the fight. This guy knows how to wrestle. He knows how to win rounds. I just don't think you win the UFC title without knowing those things.
I think Gilbert Melendez makes this a fight, muddies it up for a while, but I think Pettis is one of the best fighters in the world.
I think he's going to do something spectacular in the fight. I'm not quite sure what, but he's going to do something, and I think he's going to win the fight and retain the belt.
I just think he's got one too many tools. I think Melendez is going to put pressure on him. He's going to force a fight. It's going to be one of those deals where the champion is forced to defend his belt. It's not going to be a walkthrough by any means.